Order and introduce the teachers of, are these all kindergarten students?
And first grade.
First grade and
Yeah.
kindergarten students, to introduce the students that are going to lead us in the pledge.
We'll go down the line. Sure. I'll start. All right, my name is Valerie Young, and I'm a kindergarten teacher here at the Paul School. And I have a little write-up about the student I chose, Thomas Mulligan. I have been blessed to have Thomas in my kindergarten class for the 2011-2012 school year. Thomas entered kindergarten as a very eager and willing little boy. He has carried this excitement throughout the entire school year and has been an asset to our class. His knowledge of the world around him through his experiences with his family have been able to extend the learning in our classroom. All of his fellow classmates are always eager to learn what he has to share. Thomas has shown a love for history and is constantly trying to access as much information as possible to become more knowledgeable. He stands proud and tall every morning that we say the pledge, which is why I feel he deserves this honor tonight.
Nice job. I'm Jessica Lusick. I'm a long-term sub in first grade. I am here to introduce first grader Sandra Fowler. Sandra Fowler is an eager student who is a good listener and a creative thinker. She is well-behaved, polite, and always participating in class. She cares for others and is sensitive to others' needs. She is an outstanding student and well on her way to becoming a productive, hardworking member of society. She was chosen as Student of the Month back in September and has withheld all aspects of the honor throughout the year.
I am Lindsay Frazier. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and the next one is Faith Merrill. She's a kindergarten student. She comes into school happy and bubbly every day. She absolutely loves to learn. She consistently follows school and classroom rules. She makes intricate connections in her learning and applies them on a daily basis. And she's also willing to help her peers throughout the day and demonstrates behaviors of a model student.
And the last kindergarten student is Kate McCauley. Kate is a bright girl who always does her best work. She is meticulous about her work and aims to please. She is a great friend and is always willing to help her friends or the teacher or anyone who needs it.
I'm Jackie Eldridge, a first grade teacher, and I chose Alice Blanner. Alice is an enthusiastic first grader who works hard in everything she does. She's always willing to help her friends. She always raises her hand and works well with everyone in her class. Alice likes a challenge and works hard to complete any task given. She always has a positive attitude and brings out the best in others. Alice has been an optimistic member of our first grade, and I will truly miss her next year.
I'm Kathy Frothingham, a first grade teacher, and I chose Hannah Stewart. Hannah is an exceptional student who is kind, considerate, and hardworking. She's enthusiastic about learning, displays leadership qualities, and is a positive role model for her classmates.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful job. You got
Thank you.
Thank you to the parents for raising such well-behaved model students.
There are parents here.
Very
Can the
proud.
parents introduce themselves, please?
Marlene and Doug Stewart.
Hi.
Hi. Miranda and Jeremiah Mulligan.
Hi there.
Hi. Mindy Blanner.
Hi.
I think congratulations to the parents for
We
such
got
a
another one.
job well done. There you are, Jen.
Thank you so much. They look lovely.
Thank you, they're beautiful.
They did a great job. Congratulations. we usually give the students some pins.
And we'll get
We
those.
don't have those right now, but we'll see that they all get the pins, the paw pins.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, they look beautiful.
Parents all had big smiles on their face.
Yeah, was Kate's teacher? Kate? Jan Levitt.
Some of them say and some of them don't.
Yeah, Kate's Jan Levitt. She's one of the same as in all our programs. They look so beautiful, all dressed up.
They took this seriously.
It's quite an honor.
Okay, whatever names there are, do you have the names so that you can ask that they received their pins?
Yeah, I've got it down.
Okay, good.
I have
Okay.
one question on the manifest before we start.
Go ahead.
We're getting billed, the school district's getting billed for like the soda machine soda. No, it's not soda, it's juices.
Cafeteria buys the juice, and I talked to Ruth about that today. They buy the juice and they get the funds from the machine. That's in the cafeteria.
In the cafeteria, the school district's getting the funds.
Right. It's going into the food service account, and she buys the juice to keep it replenished.
Okay.
It's going into our budget, our income.
Yes, for the juice machine.
For the juice machine, okay.
Anybody else have any questions on manifest? No. Okay. Any PTA members here? Okay. Minutes of the last meeting. Any corrections?
Yes.
Go ahead, Judy.
I'm gonna find them first, Liz. Nothing on the first page.
Well, I have a question. I don't think we're doing these minutes exactly right. For example, second paragraph, you made a motion to enter non-public and you took a vote and everybody was aye. And in the audience were these people. I think in between, where it says you made a motion to enter public session, then you have to come out of public session before you can have an audience, because that audience wasn't there in non-public.
Okay, yeah.
So you
we'll add-
procedure it in and procedure it out and back in and back out and do it step by step and...
So after that paragraph where we did all the ayes,
Yeah.
it should say
Well,
that,
I do have Mrs. Colbeth then after the audience, I have that line about calling the meeting to order at 6:30.
Yeah, well,
I can move it up.
But I don't think you mean she called the the non-public session to order at 6:30. She
No,
called the regular.
that's the public
So,
meeting.
In the second paragraph, we're hanging, we're in non-public at that point.
Yes.
Somehow we have to get out of it.
Well, what I was suggesting is I move the line that talks about called the meeting to order at 6:30.
Well, there was a step in between there. We got out of
we have to get out of
non-public.
non-public first.
Okay, which is in the non-public
Right,
minutes.
it's reflected in the non-public minutes.
Yes, and I noticed it was reflected, but a person sees only one set of minutes, he's really confused.
Yeah, okay. So actually, underneath that paragraph, it should say, Mrs. Colbeth recessed the non-public session at 6:10.
Right.
And then
Okay.
call the meeting to order.
Okay. And then call the
And
meeting
then
to
the
order.
audience.
And then the
That's it.
audience.
Mhm.
Okay, Deb?
Okay, Mrs. Colbeth recessed, then called the public meeting to order, and
And
then
then put
add
the
the
audience.
audience. Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
Anything else, Liz?
Not on page one.
On page 2, we've got Mrs. Royal in several.
Where are we?
Oh, it's just spelled wrong.
It's a spelling, and
Yeah.
how do I spell her name?
Royle.
Mhm.
Thank you. I will get that corrected.
Do you have something, Liz?
Not on page 2,
Okay.
except for that.
Page 3?
In the big first paragraph, the third sentence from the last, the board was reminded this was refinished. The membrane has a 15 warranty. Now, did you mean?
Year, I believe, is supposed to be
Not
there.
days or months. Year. And just about 8 lines up from the bottom, and I hate to be the one to say it, but I'm a citizen of the year, not person. I don't know which is worse or better.
I have, under administration C, principal's report. I think it was Mr. Purley that read the list of the students.
It
who
was.
won.
He did,
was.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I put him on the spot, so I know it was him. Anything else on 3? Page 4.
Under committee reports, if we could say Mrs. Nason reported that the Safe Routes to School Committee has applied for a $5,000 grant, and then period.
Okay.
And they are continuing to work on the travel plan. The grant isn't for the travel plan.
All right. Do you have anything on that page,
The
Liz?
same thing.
Okay. Page 5.
The top of page 5, where it says that usually the board holds only one meeting in July and August. I think one meeting in July and one in August would be clearer. We don't have one meeting in the entire span of July and August.
Okay. So just end 1 in August. Anything else on 5?
I think about 3/4 of the way down, Mrs. Januzzi, I think that's spelled wrong.
I do too.
Jannuzi.
Is that right, people?
I think it is.
They just spelled the name wrong.
Yeah, there's no O on the end of it.
Okay.
Anything else on 5? Page 6? Yeah, there's no page 6 there, Mark. Can I
So
have-
her name has to be corrected in the list of audience members as
Mhm.
well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. We'll keep the non-public to non-public. Whole business.
I had asked what the kindergarten registration numbers were.
I'm sorry, I forgot that. I totally forgot. I can email it to you as soon as I ask.
Anybody else have anything for old business?
Did you contact the architect, by the way?
Yeah, that's under roof down here.
I wanted to tell the board
And the
that,
soil scientist, did you contact
Yeah, I got that
Peter
too.
Cooper Duck?
Yep, that's the one.
I did, under old business, I did want to tell the board that I sent an email to Sandy Lillette asking for the RSAs and the policies that she says that we break. I haven't heard from her yet. The only reason I'm saying this is because it was a public meeting, the Crow meeting, when she made that statement. So we're still waiting to hear what policies and RSAs we're breaking. So I did send her an email. Anything else in old business?
Did we get an answer on the child absence from school procedure? What Doug was going to look into that.
I thought that they were going to reestablish exactly what they're going to do and put it in their student handbook
Okay.
for, for next year, so that they're going to get that in place, because it was that they need to be called. That's definitely
Right.
that they need to be called.
By a certain time.
Yeah, and so we
And
need,
who's
I don't
going-
think it says the time in there,
All right.
but I think that that's going to be part of the student handbook.
And it, well, I wanted to know if additional people were gonna be calling so that it was done
faster.
Faster, I
Okay.
guess is.
And we have to
So
approve
they
that
just need
handbook.
to really look at that as a procedure for next year.
Right.
Yeah.
We approve that handbook before it goes to print.
Okay,
That's
so
the handbook
procedure on
every
that.
year.
so-
So we will be able to see that then, and make any changes.
Yeah, because that needs to be
Yeah.
tightened
We
up.
do approve that.
And then,
And the other one was, did we get a reason for why the electives were stopped in the 7th and 8th grade?
They told me that they were doing a variety of things in the afternoon and that they had used it as a reinforcement, that there were electives that were still going on, the music group, the, I'm trying to think, chorus, quite a few of them were still going on. They were using it as a reinforcement, and I did talk to them about that it really needs to, you need to continue school until school's over.
Any other old business?
no, the procedures for the outline for the student activity account, that's something that we're still working on. And that would be part of the procedures also.
I think Andrew's going to talk about that with the student activity account. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
As
Chris is
far as
gonna talk about
guidelines.
that.
He can discuss that after when he's up.
Yep, okay.
Okay, any correspondence? I have the same from Peter, but.
Right, it's just non-public.
Right. Administration, financial reports, okay, Andrew, you're up.
We've got the May 31st expense report. I gave out in my handout if I could find it.
I know there's so many handouts, I'm having trouble with it too.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little irritated with this one tonight, because this is quite a bit that we're being handed tonight. Usually this stuff comes ahead of time.
I think that Andrew was trying to make sure he had the last up-to-date
Yeah.
expense report.
All right. I put in the handout, which I did this afternoon at 4 o'clock,
The one with the yellow.
where I think the fund balance is going to be at the end of the year. Does everybody have that?
Yeah, I saw that, so.
So what I'm showing for the general fund,
Looks like that.
right now we have $419,000 that were under budget.
Oh, okay.
And with the revenue that we're under budget, we'd have a fund balance of 385 in the general fund, 385, 186. And I'm projecting the food service deficit to be $53,000. So basically, I'm saying that the general fund, once we fund the food service, will be at a 335, 752 balance. That's including taking out the 117 for the asbestos warrant article.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the only warrant article that contingent on funding? Is that the only one we had, surplus?
Did we do sped that way?
That's what I was wondering. It seemed like there was two. Was there only one?
Seems to me it
I
was.
thought it was just the,
I think it was just the one.
just the
Just the
asbestos
one?
one. The
Okay.
sped one was a warrant article in addition to the budget.
Okay.
And then we had several warrant articles that were actually giving money,
Back.
well, it's like,
Well,
that's an opposite thing I'm not supposed to
technically,
say. Technically, I'm not supposed to say
Technically,
that, but, offsetting the tax rate, I guess.
And computers, oh, that was a separate warrant
That's a
article too?
lease. Yeah, this is separate.
Okay. I don't think we're gonna have any problem funding that.
No, we're all set. And they're
Any
gonna start on the
questions on that?
11th, right?
I'm sorry?
They're supposed to start on the 11th.
Well, that was one of the things he wanted to talk to
Yeah,
you
we need
about.
we need to get a approval for Bob to go ahead and start the asbestos project.
Yeah.
Because he has to start getting, the contractors
Right.
date set so they could come in and start working.
I know he mentioned the goal was to, by the 11th to start.
Right.
We just need to make sure we have the funds, and it looks like we're all set there.
So it's the library, the computer room, and the art room?
This section.
This section.
Well, computer
The
room.
offices.
Well, not on the 11th,
Not on
though.
the 11th.
No, the
Yeah,
11th is started.
he has a very specific plan, what goes when and what time things move, and it's really down to the
You
hour.
better hope nothing gets
It's very
backed up.
specific. And so just to, maybe could I just publicly say that the office would be under construction. So on the 18th, we have our teacher workshop day. And that day, what we're going to do is put the teachers in the modulars so that they're not in the way.
This is
And
June 18th?
This is June 18th. And then the office will be really moving, like the server will shut down and all of that on the 19th, the day after they're gone. But the guidance, the main office will move down to where the guidance office is.
Okay.
And then people will be able to access through that front door that way. All right. And that the ESY, the summer school program, will be in the modulars over here so that they're air conditioned and they're far away from everything.
How about the office? Is that air conditioned?
We're going to put a temporary air conditioner in.
'Cause that'd be
And the
horrible in the
reason,
summer if it wasn't.
we looked at all different scenarios,
Mhm.
and the reason that they chose to put it down in the guidance office is because of phone lines.
Mm.
It just would be too expensive to go and put phone lines and do all of that they needed
Right.
to for a temporary time. He had it's really laid out so that by, I think, the 16th of July, they'll be at the point where they're already moving it back in. That's what they're anticipating, if we could start on time. So,
It's also easily accessible, too.
So would they start with the computer room and then here and then?
yep, the
Yeah, room.
computer room, because the computer labs are on a cart anyway.
Right, so that's not a
Right.
problem.
So they can still be doing computers.
Yeah.
And the library normally shuts down the last week of school because she has to do all the packing and all of that. Art still's going to go on. So it's almost like a graduating.
So it's not everybody at once.
It's not everyone at once, and it's all very specifically laid out. And the area behind us, there'll be markings on the floor so that there'll be a specific area that belongs to
Wow,
the
that's
office.
thorough.
Because you have to be able to get to student records,
Right,
all
right.
of those things. And so it's just going to be a little bit of just a logistical
Yeah.
planning, and we sat down and had a meeting with Joe and the administration and technology, and I really believe as long as everything goes in order,
Yeah.
they've got it all straightened out, like who paints, and then when the carpeting comes, and when the electrical comes, when the wiring comes back in. They've got it really.
I think because of last year, they know.
Actually, they're getting experienced at
Right.
this.
Yeah.
So,
I'm concerned about student records being out in this activity.
it has
area.
it's a blocked off, locked, there's a sliding lock thing wherever they're gonna put that. You know what I'm talking about?
A gate?
There's a gate.
Yeah.
It's gated. And there wouldn't be any, really, no one would be here or in this building, but they do have that they have it secure. They did talk about that. Yeah.
So you said you need permission to start?
We basically need permission to start.
We need to vote to go ahead with the warrant article and spend the 117 out of the asbestos reserve fund.
You have a
Do we
motion?
need to have a public hearing to do that?
No, we don't need a public hearing. We usually do a public hearing because that's our procedure. It is our procedure to have a public hearing.
That would delay it till the 20th.
Even with the...
We don't need to have a public hearing legally,
Okay.
but we've always done a public hearing just because the town does, basically. So that's been our procedure. But if it's going to delay it till the 20th,
It's not just delaying it, though. What would be the cost involved if he has these contractors? He said that time was of the essence because of having them on the 11th.
I didn't realize
And
this
also
was gonna-
because of the students.
I didn't realize that we were going to even do this or that would have you post a public hearing. So
Well, I mean, if it is it mandated? If
No,
not,
it's not.
then-
It's not required.
Is it an expendable trust fund, or is it a
It's an expendable
capital
trust.
reserve fund
It's an expendable trust fund.
with school board as agents to expend?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the board.
And that's why I said, we don't have to have a public hearing. It's just been our procedure to have a public hearing. But not, we're not locked into a public hearing. We're agents to expend, and we can do so. And if we had time, then I would suggest that we waited for a public hearing, but because time is of the essence, you know, I'm willing to give permission. I don't know about the rest of the board. What are your feelings?
I'm willing to give permission. It's a warrant article. This is something we've approved.
Judy?
I mean, we have the money. That was the whole. We don't want to hold up, and especially this is minimal interruption.
I don't want to hold it up, I'm just,
We just don't
one
want the
type of
interruption.
fund requires a public hearing.
Probably the capital reserve.
Capital reserve, right?
Your expendable trust fund has the board as agents, and that it is an expendable trust
I
fund.
believe there's no need for a public hearing for the expendable trust fund. If it was a capital reserve fund, there would be a need for it.
I don't think there is even a need for a public hearing for a capital reserve fund if we're agents to expend. There may be, but not to my
Normally
knowledge.
not agents to expend on a capital.
Okay,
reserve.
then if we're not agents to expend, but we are on this,
But in this case, we are agents to expend,
Right.
and where time is of the essence, we also, the way they have it all set up, it's going to be minimal interruption, if any, to the students. We're going to be able to keep things going and then get everything back.
okay.
So,
So the feelings of the,
I make a motion that we proceed with the plan as laid out by Andrew with Bob's,
timeline,
yeah.
mhm.
can I have a second?
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We can have a public hearing at our next meeting if required.
You could, just to make it.
Because
We
we will
could.
not have expended any funds.
That's true.
That's
We could do
true.
that at the next.
We could do
Okay,
that.
so
You
we can
want
do-
to, yeah, I want to post a public hearing.
Because we won't have written any checks yet.
No, not
We
until
have a-
July.
Motion to approve Bob's plan
Right.
and
Yeah.
proceed with
Procedure.
the
Yeah, timing is really of the essence.
But we will have
because
a-
you're doing roofs
I
in
understand
two
that.
towns, and it's like lighting project and this project,
Right.
and it's really, the summer is limited.
But I'd just soon have a public hearing at our next meeting.
Okay.
Post that, and then we're covered.
Okay.
You're going to vote on the
Oh, yes. Well, everybody's in favor.
You said to go ahead with the timeline, not to expend the
And
warrant.
Bob's plan.
Yeah, we already voted.
That's suitable.
Yeah,
Okay.
with your plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a vote. Everybody was in favor.
Okay.
We are going to post a public meeting for our next meeting,
For
which
the
is the
20th.
20th.
Public hearing,
Right.
yeah.
Public hearing.
Okay. Go ahead, Andrew.
Any questions on the expense report analysis?
Yeah, I had some. Tuition public. I thought we had a larger number than that last time. I thought it was around 90,000. You were anticipating.
We we reduced the expenses by $97,000 from the public tuition. This is still showing the encumbrance. So there was $97,000 left over in the tuition line, public tuition.
But there's not on this
Well,
expense.
that's because this was on May 31st. That's why this is updated. That's why I gave you this updated sheet.
Okay, this one here is the,
That includes the 97,000
That
coming out.
includes-
That's why
okay.
you're showing a much higher under budget than it's showing on the expense report.
okay, that's what I wanted to check on that one. We haven't paid the truant officer salary yet?
No, but it's encumbered.
How
It's
come we
not,
haven't?
it's not encumbered on your report, but it's encumbered in these numbers.
Why haven't we paid him anything?
She pays him the last payroll of the year.
Oh, really? That's why he wants to get paid?
Because that's the way it's always been done, so I'll get paid on the 25th,
Oh, really?
23rd.
Okay.